Good evening and welcome to the March 6, 2019 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board. I'll officially call this meeting to order. I'll ask everyone to please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Cole. Here. LaFountain.
Here.
Metzler.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Quinn.
Here. Okay, before we get started, we do have a public hearing this evening. I'm going to take one matter out of order. I'm going to recognize Howie Jacobson. Howie is here to discuss a little bit of information that we've had some discussion on between the town, a number of our staff, Jim Costello, Phyllis Seeley, and a number of other staff members. Some exciting news in the northern part of Penfield. A lot of what folks call Webster is actually the great town of Penfield. And Howie approached the town, approached my office and our team with a concept. And before I give away anything more, I will turn that over to him. Howie, welcome, and look forward to hearing a little bit more about what you have in mind.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate having the time. We are going to be launching May 1st at Baytowne Plaza, what will be fondly known as Penfield's Farmers and Craft Market, every Wednesday from 4 to 7:30 at Brant Point Park, which is this grassy area where we have a big flagpole in the middle of Baytowne Plaza. Under the tent events that we'll be holding, we will have a 40 by 85-foot tent set up from May 1st through the end of October, which will host events for the town of Penfield, and they'll be welcoming Webster, Irondequoit, Brighton, and Fairport, but it'll all be really under the branding of this is Penfield's opportunity to really showcase our community. The Penfield Farmer and Crafts Market will be on Wednesdays, as I said. We will have about 25 to 30 local farmers and craft members of the community. We will welcome people within about 50 miles of the site. Farmers, people that are making crafts, making homemade food and breads. We already have 14 vendors of the 25 to 30 already signed up, and it's just the beginning of March, and it's very cold. I was telling the supervisor earlier that I had a couple calls this week from farmers who want to sign up, and I was laughing. I'm like, you're thinking about going outside and harvesting? It's freezing. So the good news is that we will have a very active May through October this year with our farmers market on Wednesday. We will have Thursdays, I will know next week, but it looks like we're going to have cruise nights on Thursdays, June, July, and August. We will have every other Saturday night. We will have family movie night under the tent. We have a really cool movie screen that'll be underneath the tent, so we'll be able to start at 7:45. The movies, they'll all be family movies that we've picked out, so that'll be great. We will have, every third Friday will be Beats and Eats, which we will have music under the tent and food trucks from 5:30 till 8:30. So we will have activity there on site. We're working right now to do recycle days, fire and safety. We're talking to Monroe County Sheriffs and Penfield Fire. We are hoping to do shredding there on site. We'll coordinate with obviously the town of Penfield. But we have very exciting energy coming in around this. We're hoping also that the community will want to use this space. And we have on our website, I also have materials to leave for you, but your group, the Penfield Rec, has been very helpful getting the word out. And we just want to let the community know that this is going to be happening and going to be a very important part of Penfield. Yes, people think that that area is very close to Webster, but we're going to be rebranding it as Penfield's very exciting under the tent event space. So I have some handouts for you that I can share.
And I'd like to recognize the DeMarco family. I know they've been very committed to helping the town kind of rebrand that corner of the community because there is just a lot of confusion. West Webster Fire, Webster mailing address being so close to Webster as you've indicated, and sometimes that gets lost. And I know that as part of their commitment, looking to revamp and add on to the Plaza, their commitment was very strong to help rebrand or to help recognize that that is a very important part of Penfield, and we appreciate that aspect.
Yes, you'll be seeing it on the monument signs. Matter of fact, one of them has on there now,
Yes.
Penfield.
Yes.
So we're very happy to be part of that, and I know in our social media, even over the last 3 or 4 weeks when we really kicked this off, we've been having all kinds of people correct us. Oh, no, that's Webster. No, I'm recorrecting you, it's Penfield. Oh, gee, that's great, because I live in Penfield. So this is
Perfect.
really great. So thank
Excellent.
you for allowing us the opportunity to do this.
Yes.
And we really believe, just from the excitement around this, there's going to be thousands of people coming out to really enjoy themselves and be entertained and have fun in the town of Penfield on that site.
Excellent.
So thank you. I've got some handouts.
Thank you very much. And Howard, thanks for taking time to come and give us a general overview and a plug for that activity. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
we look forward to the next couple of months of warm weather and more outside activity.
Thanks.
Howard, would you like to share the website?
Yes, it is Baytowne Events at DeMarcoGroup.com.
Thank you.
And we have a Facebook page, which is mybaytown.com, and all the information's on there.
Great.
So thank you.
Excellent.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for your
Look
time.
forward to seeing you. Thanks.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
All right. We will continue on with our agenda. We do have a public hearing, as I indicated. I'll ask our clerk to please call for that public hearing.
To allow outdoor live music at Murphy's Law at 1400 Empire Boulevard, located in the LaSalle's Landing Development Zoning District. The legal notice was published in the Penfield Post on February 14, 2019, and posted on the town's website and town clerk bulletin board. 15 postcards were mailed.
Great, thank you. I did have a conversation, I did have a conversation with our town attorney to verify that this was properly before the board. He did in fact confirm that, so I'll just add that to the record. And I'll welcome our guest, and if you wouldn't mind, please identify yourself for the record, and then talk a little bit about what you've got planned.
John Diamantopoulos.
Marty Cordy,
We're both the owners of Murphy's Law on Empire Boulevard. How are you tonight?
Very good, very well.
Yeah.
So for the record, we did receive from Mr. Costello the package of materials that you provided, so the board has had an opportunity to at least take a look at those and be aware of that. However, what as part of this meeting is being broadcast, and so I'd ask to just give an overview of what your plans are, what you'd like to do with the music and things like that. And then if the board has any questions, and then after that, the audience, if they have any questions, we can get into those.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, John.
The music that we're looking to do will be of I wouldn't say really low key, but nothing of any kind of high energy or loud rock and roll. Let's say like Metallica. We're not doing anything like that. We're trying to cater to an adult crowd, an adult base, like our business does right now. We're looking to do mostly on Friday nights and Saturday nights between 5 and 10 p.m. We will do it occasionally on holiday weekends, maybe on a Sunday like Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend, if need be, or if we can. And once in a while for special events during the week, but the predominant focus of our times will be Friday and Saturday nights, 5 to 10 p.m. And probably not much past 9 p.m. Because most of the bands play only 3 to 4 hours. That's usually what their allotted time is for their set.
Okay. And this music inside, outside, or some combination thereof?
It's outside. We had had some bands in the past, not realizing we needed an entertainment license for that, and we never had any incidents of any substance. I think one time we had one complaint from somebody. We also did a St. Patty's Day tent last year. We played all afternoon, and that was outside in the parking lot, and that went on all day long. And again, it was all positive input from the neighborhood, especially people behind us at Edgewater were in support of it. And there was no incidents of complaints or noise complaints.
We didn't have any opposition or anything
Nothing
for that, but
at
we
all.
curtailed it just to see what happens after this hearing, you know, like, we're avoiding that just to,
And we do have music outside right now that's piped in. We have our own sound outside.
Yes.
And it's very decibel-wise, I don't know the numbers, but it's very similar as far as the impact and how loud it is in the neighborhood. And that's
Where?
in the pool area outside?
Okay, so that's part of Murphy's Law now, down by the pool?
Yes. Well, we
So
have the
it's-
bar out there,
Right.
yes. And
I was thinking that was part of the marina.
it is. We're kind of,
we have the bar and we serve
Partnership.
food down there.
yeah, we have a partnership down there.
Okay.
And, you know, we're just, we really need to do this. It's, if we didn't need to do this, it's more of a financial burden for us because most of our business is, it comes in the summertime there. We thought we would do a lot more business in the wintertime than we already are. If we were doing the numbers we thought we were going to do when we first got into the place years ago, we probably wouldn't be approaching you about this, but we just need to have a really good, robust summer to do well with.
Kind of carry
yes,
through
it
kind
carries
of
through the
those
wintertime, 'cause-
lean months when
Yeah.
it's like
But-
too cold to be anywhere.
Because, you know, even though we're on Empire Boulevard, for some reason, just because we're tied to the marina, we're set back, people think of us as a summertime place more than a wintertime place. And we're trying to change that, but it's been difficult.
People don't want to go to the bay when it's February and -10.
Yeah, right on, right on.
I also have three letters of support with me. I was supposed to have a fourth one, but the guy didn't deliver it to me yet. But we've had, talking to the people in the Edgewater behind us, they really enjoyed coming down to our bar and hanging out in the summertime, and they really welcomed the idea of music out there. And the few times that we've had it, they didn't have any sense of impact from it and didn't bother them, and they've been living back there for 2 to 3 years, these people that I've spoken to. And I have the letters with me, and I'll give them to you before I leave.
That'd be great if you could give them to our clerk. She'll make sure the board has copies, and if you need the originals back, we can make sure we can get those back. But we'll take them, scan them, and get them to the board.
And I'm going to be really sensitive with the neighborhood, and we want to work with the town and the neighbors around us to make sure that the impact isn't of a negative way in any way, as far as sound goes.
So the approximate dates that you're looking to do this, starting in the
I would
May
imagine
time?
April till September. Probably May is probably more practical, weather-wise. I would imagine after Labor Day, that would be it.
Kind of ramp down from there. And then again, as you indicated, predominantly Saturday and Sunday only during that period of time.
It'll probably be more Fridays and Saturdays.
Yep.
And then maybe Sunday afternoons once in a while, or Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend.
What would be the hours that you would have the music?
At the latest 10, but I don't think it'll go past 9, because like I said, the bands usually play 3 to 4 hour sets, so they'll probably start around 5:30 or so, and go till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Board, other questions or comments for the applicant?
I don't have any.
Okay. I'll recognize Mr. Costello, who is our Director of Developmental Services. Would just ask Jim, is there anything that you believe should be added to the record that we haven't discussed thus far?
Yes. First of all, I will comment that John has worked with the staff, has worked with Heidi's group and myself in obtaining permits for the St. Patrick's Day event. That went well. And we didn't receive any comments from anybody. That was a permitted activity. My one question that I had, and I've talked to John about this, is, Tony, as you've noted, that it is a shared facility with the marina activity that's down there. And I just want you to explain to the board how that interacts with, families that are down by the pool at certain times, or the kids running around by the pool, how the idea of music and the bar interacts with that activity, so there's not a conflict.
Speaking to the Danielle's, like last year, when we had the bands, we try to keep it adult-oriented. Children weren't allowed in the area, like after, when the band started or during happy hour, so to speak. And they were amicable to that, the Danielle's. We just wanted to keep it, we had like family time and then we wanted adult time. We didn't want to have them kind of cross over to each other.
Yeah,
Yep.
during the day, we have like, the kids are at the pool with their families and stuff, and we have kid menus, and we bring out things like that, but when it starts to get later, and you're gonna have more of a bar atmosphere a little bit with, with
Happy
the
hour and
yeah,
things
happy
like
hour
that,
music.
kind of shift gears.
Yeah.
We had a few kids soak our customers with super soakers too, so that didn't go over very well. So,
I don't know about the kids, but not the customers.
yeah, so,
Yeah, it keeps everybody on their toes.
yeah.
Okay, great. I'll ask Kaz, either yourself, Heidi Bale, who's our building zoning fire marshal's office, any other items that are not on the record that you believe should be part of the record? Okay, very good. Then I just ask, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this matter on any front, either supporting or not supporting, or if there's any additional questions that anyone may have? Okay, seeing none, then I'd ask the board one last opportunity. Board, any additional questions, comments, or information that you might need, with the exception of the letters that they will be providing us, letters of support? All right. And then to the applicants, any additional comments or input, feedback that you'd like to provide?
Yeah, during the process, me and Jim talked about some possibilities, and he was telling me about limiting the size and scope of the bands. And I understand some of the concerns about how, if it's a 2-man, 3-man, 4-man band, but I think it's more about, the decibels and the kind of music you play and how loud you play it, more so than how many members are in the band and the type of music you play, Just thought I'd throw that out there. Is there any questions with that?
No, I think, I think you hit the nail on the head, at least from my perspective. You could have one person there, and with the right circumstances, we could see a whole barrage of phone calls that came in just because of the amplification, types of music and, things. And you could have a 4-piece group that's there and not have problems. So it really gets down to, the decibel level of the noise of the music, in that area. No different here than any of the other areas that when we're looking at outside music, to make sure that it doesn't impact the quality of life of the surrounding neighbors. So,
Yeah, we're more than willing to work with, like, if the neighbors do have, we've only had like one complaint, and we're more than willing to work with them.
yep. And so that one complaint, was it from the apartment complex from
I'm not
Water's
sure.
Edge, or?
I'm not sure. I know there was one disgruntled boater that didn't like the fact that their kids couldn't be at the pool during that time. So I'm
Understand.
not sure where it came from.
Yeah, no, I
be honest with you.
understand. The pool component and the arrangement that you have, I mean, it makes good business sense, to have family time and then to have, that break and to have, adult, whether that's happy hour or some music or things like that. So, and I get the fact that some people may not like that break and like to continue on.
And a lot of the boaters liked the idea of that because they wanted to have the adult time and the family time.
Yeah, there's that balance. So, okay, great. So seeing no further information, before I close the hearing, we'll talk about next steps. So the next opportunity that the board will have to discuss this matter will be next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll do that at the tables in the back, part of our work session. You have the opportunity, if you'd like to come and listen to that discussion, you're more than welcome to do that. You can watch it on Penfield TV, or you can stay in contact with Jim Costello. But again, you're more than welcome to come and listen to that conversation.
Thank you for your
Great.
time. Thank you.
I'll declare this public hearing closed. I'll just ask if you wouldn't mind giving those letters, and if you would like those back, just let Amy know, and we'll make sure that we get them back in your hand.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Okay, we will continue on with our agenda. That brings us to communications and announcements. And I'm going to first recognize Mr. Quinn. I know that the town clerk has some items, but I'll first recognize Mr. Quinn, and I'll go back to the clerk. So, Mr. Quinn, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Spring is closer than we think, and here's a sure sign. Daylight savings time is this Sunday, March 10th, beginning at 2 a.m. Though cell phones and smart devices should change automatically, don't forget to turn those manual alarm clocks and wall clocks forward. While an hour of sleep is lost, more sunlight in the evenings are upon us. Daylight savings time is also a good reminder to put new batteries in household warning devices such as smoke and CO2 detectors and hazard warning radios. You should also review, update, and practice emergency escape plans with your household members to help save lives during an emergency. Daylight savings time happens twice a year, beginning on the second Sunday of March and ending on the first Sunday of November. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I'll move to our clerk for her updates.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The town is now accepting payments for building permits through the town website. On the town website, in the left corner, under Quick Links, please click on Service Request and follow the instructions. You will be able to enter your request by address or by area. There is a help button on the page which you can click on that lists frequently asked questions. Also, just a reminder that the town will be hosting our next Passport Night on April 4th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. You may contact my office at 340-8629 to schedule an appointment, but walk-ins are also welcome.
Great, thank you. Mrs. Messler.
I have one announcement this evening, a reminder from DEAR, which is our Daytime Education at Recreation program. Please check out pages 36 to 42 in the winter-spring edition of the PennRec brochure, or go online to penfieldrec.org. The town of Penfield is excited to offer classes and lectures to our consortium of lifetime learners. Join the national movement to learn and share life experience with others, exploring the multitude of free programs available through the Recreation Department. You will not be disappointed. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Penfield Trails Committee will be sponsoring a free guided hike at the Penfield Shadow Pines property on Saturday, March 9th from 10 a.m. to noon. Join the Trails Committee for this guided hike, hiking trail developments, and to survey the south end of the property. Please meet at the parking lot near the Clark House off Whalen Road. Look for the hike sign. While the hike is free, participants are always encouraged to pre-register by contacting the Penfield Recreation Department at 340-8655. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Cole.
I have two announcements. Penfield Rotary is holding the annual Spring Euchre Tournament on Sunday, March 10th at the Legacy 40 Willow Pond Way, beginning at 2 p.m. Cash prizes will be awarded based on the scores for 8 games. Participants is limited to 100 people, so register soon. Tickets are $20 before March 9th and $25 at the door. You can register at Family First Credit Union on Browncroft Boulevard by mailing a check payable to Penfield Rotary Club or by calling Charlie at 585-381-8889. For complete tournament and registration details, log in to penfieldrotary.org. And my second announcement is that my monthly community chat will be on Tuesday, March 19th at 5:30 to 7 in the new book area at the Penfield Library. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to public participation, 2 opportunities to address the board on any matter. If you're here in the audience, you can come to the podium. You can call in at 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org. And I'll ask our clerk, has anyone signed up to speak this evening?
They have not.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Okay, seeing none. Again, there will be a second opportunity at the end of our agenda to do so. We'll move on to additions and deletions to the agenda. Seeing no additions or deletions, we do have minutes of February 6, 2019, and would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I move that the minutes of February 6th be approved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I would ask for a roll call vote of approval for those minutes.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. Our next item of petitions, has the town board or the town clerk received any petitions since our last meeting?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to resolution by function. We'll start with law and finance, please.
Adoption of local law number 1 of 2019 to be known as a local law extending the moratorium and prohibition within the town of Penfield of public golf course redevelopment.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town board of the town of Penfield wishes to adopt proposed local law 1 of 2019, which would extend a moratorium and prohibition within the town of Penfield of public golf course redevelopment for a period of approximately 1 year. Whereas the town board of the town of Penfield held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on February 20th, 2019 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider the said proposal and to hear all persons interested in the adoption of local law 1 of 2019. The public hearing was closed and decision was reserved. Now therefore be it resolved and hereby enacted by the town board of the town of Penfield as follows: local law 1 of 2019. Town of Penfield local law number 1 of 2019, a local law amending and extending the moratorium on and prohibition of public golf course redevelopment within the town of Penfield. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, there are 4 sections to this local law as a part of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Discussion by the board. Seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorizing supervisor to advise, authorizing a supervisor to advertise a request for proposals for the purpose of utilizing the Clark House property at 1960 Clark Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas on April 30th, 2018, the town board purchased the former Shadow Pines Golf Course property at 2701 Atlantic Avenue, 1950 Clark Road, 1960 Clark Road, 745 Whalen Road, totaling 207.11 acres. Whereas the property at 1960 Clark Road is comprised of 5.7 acres and has the Clark House, a former card house, and a barn situated on it. Whereas the town board wishes to have said structures utilized to serve the residents of the town of Penfield. Whereas the town board has directed the preparation of a request for proposal, or RFP, to seek responsible parties interested in utilizing the Clark House property. Whereas in addition to providing the public with a copy of the request for proposal, the town board will provide visual guides both via Town of Penfield webpage and site tours of the building to provide prospective respondents as much information as possible and assisting them in making a determination of interest in said structure. Now, there be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to advertise a request for proposal for the purpose of selecting a responsible respondent or respondents interested in utilizing the Clark House property. The RFP is in a format attached to this resolution.
Thank you. Discussion on this resolution, board.
Mr. Supervisor, just a quick comment and a request, if I can. I serve as the liaison to the town board to the Shadow Pines Land Use Committee, and the committee has met for a couple months now. I know the topic of the RFP has come up a couple times, and Mr. Costello and Mr. Valentine and myself has spoken to the committee about what the town may be looking at with the RFP. And I would just ask that at the next committee meeting, which I believe is next Tuesday evening, if Mr. Valentine or Mr. Costello could give a kind of executive summary presentation of the RFP so that the members, the citizen members of the Shadow Pines Land Use Committee can learn more about what's in the RFP, maybe offer some suggestions before the final document is released to the public.
So the final document will in fact be released to the public tomorrow.
Okay.
So that item will go out. Certainly, as part of that and discussions with staff, Town Attorney Horowitz Any information, feedback that we get, regardless of who that's from, whether that's the committee, whether that's any of the respondents, certainly the board or the staff, and this board will take into consideration. I think we did indicate that we wanted to make sure that this was as transparent as possible. So doing an executive summary on the 12th, Tuesday the 12th, I think would be a very appropriate thing for the committee. And then that way, in addition to that, this item will be posted on the website as well for any and all folks to take a look at and, again, offer up any thoughts, comments, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and Mr. Costello here in the audience, he's got that locked and loaded for next week, and we appreciate that. I'd also like to recognize, certainly, this was a very large undertaking as we went through. Jim, Dick Horowitz, a number of other folks provided a lot of help and assistance. People like Jim Kreckman, Phyllis Ely, and a number of others, and appreciate that effort. I think everyone will find it's a very detailed document that we put forth and tried to cover all of the items that would be needed and necessary as folks were offering up a proposal of interest for that property. So, Jim, thank you for your efforts on that. Okay, seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
5 ayes. Establishment of the Capstone Subdivision Special Improvement District.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas a public hearing was held on February 6, 2019 to consider the petition and to hear all persons interested in the establishment of the Capstone Subdivision Special Improvement District. Whereas the intent of the district is to pay for the maintenance of all public areas and betterments such as stormwater treatment facilities, subdivision identification signs, and other such items as deemed appropriate within the Capstone subdivision. Now therefore be it resolved that the order be executed by the town supervisor of Penfield and members of the town board to establish the Capstone Subdivision Special Improvement District.
Thank you. Discussion by the board. Seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
5 ayes. Acceptance of financial statements and independent auditors' reports for 2018.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town of Penfield engaged the services of Bonadio and Company to prepare financial statements and an independent auditor's report for fiscal year 2018. Whereas the town board has reviewed said statements and reports have found that all information is in order. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby accepts the financial statements as prepared by Bonadio and Company for 2018. A copy of said documents will be posted on the town's website. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Discussion. I'll just comment that normally we're discussing this matter in the early May timeframe, and it has been moved up really because this next week, the finance director, Barbara Chernow, and myself will be having a conference call with Moody's as it relates to moving our bond anticipation note that we acquired Shadow Pines and rolling that into a bond. And Moody's is looking for that information to be the most updated information as possible. So we requested Bonadio to move this up and to have it completed, which they have, and we thank them. Also recognize Barbara Chernow for her effort in the support of that. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
5 ayes. Purchase of a 2019 John Deere 210G LC excavator.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Director of Public Works has identified that the current town-owned 2012 John Deere excavator is in need of replacement based on age and number of hours on this piece of equipment, and will still bring in a reasonable value at auction to be put towards a new excavator. And whereas the Director of Public Works is authorized to purchase one 2019 John Deere excavator with bucket from the New York State contract from Five Star Equipment Incorporated for a total cost of $207,300. And whereas the town board approves an amendment to the 2019 adopted budget, increasing the drainage account equipment appropriations in the amount of $207,300 from the drainage account fund balance. And whereas the funding received from the sale of the current excavator at auction in May 2019 will be added to the drainage account to offset the purchase. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Public Works is authorized to purchase the equipment.
Thank you. Discussion. See no further discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Advertise for bids to secure properties as required under Article 12-12-21 of Chapter 29 of the Town Code.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the purpose of Article 12-12-21 of Chapter 29 of the Town Code is to prevent the gradual encroachment of blight, deterioration, unsightliness, and property devaluation, and to assure the safety, health protection, and general welfare of persons and property in the town of Penfield. And whereas the Building and Zoning Office has the need to secure properties failing to comply with the minimum requirement of Article 12-12-21 of Chapter 29 of the Town Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Building and Zoning Administrator be and hereby is authorized to advertise in a manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals for the securing of properties that have failed to be maintained in accordance with the Town Code requirements. And be it further resolved that the services covered by such proposal shall be in accordance with the specifications prepared by the Building and Zoning Administrator. Sealed proposals are to be submitted to the office of the Town Clerk by 11 a.m. local time Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. See no further discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Advertise for bids to maintain and clean up properties as requires under Article 4-4-28 of Chapter 29 of the Town Code.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Building and Zoning Office has the need to maintain properties failing to comply with the minimum requirement of Article 4-4-28 of Chapter 9 of the Town Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Building and Zoning Administrator be and hereby is authorized to advertise in a manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals for the maintenance and cleanup of properties that have failed to be maintained in accordance with the Town Code requirements. Sealed proposals are to be submitted to the Town Clerk until 11 a.m. local time, Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Discussion. It's unfortunate that we have to pass these resolutions. It does give our building zoning officials the opportunity to address either unsecured or unkept properties. Between these two resolutions, as well as the Pro Champs program that we earlier this year really gives more tools in the toolbox for our building zoning folks to address some of these properties that we have had problems with within the town. Seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to attend the New York State Recreation and Parks Society Annual Conference.
So moved.
Second.
The Recreation Department staff are members of the New York State Recreation and Parks Society. The annual conference will provide professional training and CEU credits that will benefit the town of Penfield. Therefore, it will be resolved that the following recreation staff member be authorized to attend the 79th Annual New York State Recreation and Parks Society Conference and Expo from April 7th through April 9th, 2019 in Lake Placid, and the person is Lynn Ann Conroy. Funds are provided for in the 2019 budget, and expenses include registration, fees, and lodging.
Right. Thank you. Discussion. Seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign one recreation contract, and that's for the director of the Penfield Pops Band, Ken Scott.
Okay, great. Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. This brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none, this brings us to our second public participation. Again, if you're in the audience, you can address the board at the podium on any matter. You can call in at 340-8771 or at penfield.org. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Okay, seeing none, and there being no further business to come before the board, the March 6, 2019 legislative session of the board will stand adjourned. I would like to thank everyone that participated. Thank you to Penfield TV. This board will stand adjourned officially at 7:41 p.m. Thank you. Have a great evening.